So I recently started to watch Bakemonogatari because I said in my last video that I wanted to review all Tomboy starting with Karen Araragi. But to review a character, I also need to know the story to put her into context, so I decided to watch Monogatari and then make a video about Karen. Now the thing about the Monogatari series is that it has a continuous story, so I can't watch Monogatari, in which Karen Araragi plays the main role, first. That's the reason why I decided to do what a weeb needs to do and just start from the first season, which is Bakemonogatari. And I cannot express how happy I am that I made that decision, because Bakemonogatari's first episode is the best first episode that I ever watched in an anime. So I'm going to go through the scenes that I found noteworthy and explain what elements make this episode a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. And by the way, I will skip scenes or dialogue that I think are not worth mentioning or are simply not interesting enough to talk about. Okay? Okay. So now that that's settled, let us start with our protagonist Araragi on his way to Naoetsu High School. On the way there, he and the viewers will be greeted with a penny shot, which in my humble opinion was put there to show us two things. The first thing it tells us are the character traits that define Araragi, like him being a pervert and him being a goddamn smart pervert with good awareness. We sometimes see flashing words which represent his thoughts and associations that his brain makes throughout the episode. Those tell us even more about him, but the first scene already established our main character without any word of dialogue. He manages to get the most value out of the penny shot by not wasting a single millisecond, and the girl isn't even noticing it because of his high level weeb power. What a man. But now the second thing this scene tells us. It tells us that this girl is not important. At least for now, you know, I only watched episode 1 and I instantly wanted to do this video, so yeah. This girl won't be of any interest either for the viewer or Araragi, which is made clear by the way the camera starts with the view of her panties and then her face, already establishing the fact that Araragi only cares about her on a sexual level. And yeah, the scene also exists because Japanese men like to see panty shots from teenage girls. Shortly after that, we get to see the most movie-like scene in a TV anime. Holy fuck, those jump cuts are so sick. Holy moly, look at this. This orchestra hits you out of nowhere. It exposes interesting looking characters, it features fight scenes, and even the existence of the scene itself tells us that this is not a normal show for the case that the viewer got a bad first impression with the panty shot at the start. Araragi then comes too late to school, which we know because the bell is ringing. By his surprise, a girl is falling from the heavens with light piano music in the background and beautiful light that is shining from above. Now this is one of the biggest troll scenes that I ever saw, and I will tell you why once we got a little bit further into the episode. After the opening, we are thrown straight inside a conversation between Hanekawa, the girl from the start, and Araragi. And oh my god, I fucking love this scene. The next minutes are my favorite part about this episode, so I hope I can express how much I love it and why I love it. Here we go. The first thing that I love is how the theme of her unimportance is now played out because Araragi never really engages in the conversation. Sometimes we see a first person view of him aligning his pen with her eyes because of his boredom, which in itself is a pretty unique way to communicate boredom of a character. The second thing is how for just a quick moment we see a typical anime cat girl, probably one of his hentais or something, which is part of his thought process when he is thinking about Hanekawa, further emphasizing the point that he is a pervert and that he only cares about her being a girl with assets and not a personality. Then Araragi brings Senju, the girl who fell into his arms, into the conversation. She's a more interesting topic to him, understandably after the incident with the whole falling from the heavens and piano stuff, you know. The rest of the conversation feels incredibly calming with the wavy background music and the unique art style. I felt like that classroom was my home. I never wanted to leave it. The whole episode could have been played out in a classroom and I would have been okay with it. Now one thing that I want to mention before we move on is that apparently Hanekawa knows Oshino, who plays an important role later in the episode, which lets me to believe that she will be more important in the later episodes of the season or other seasons. Remember, I only watched episode 1, so I can't tell that since I watched this blindly. So after we leave our calm space following Araragi to the school corridor, some random person starts to threaten Araragi from behind, who we quickly learn is Senju. Now remember when I was talking about the troll scene in which it seemed like Senju was falling from the heavens? Yeah, that scene is getting debunked pretty quickly, with her telling the viewer and Araragi that she literally just slipped on a banana peel. Normally the protagonist of a light novel has the exact same moment that Araragi has with Senju, at the start of the episode in which he finds a girl and then realizes that there is something special and magical about her. It's an easy tool to introduce a love interest for the main character, because you can do it pretty quickly with the side effect of being understandable for the viewer, because his introduction to the girl is also a magical one, mostly emphasized with beautiful music and visuals like here. But then we have Senju telling us, nope, that was just a damn banana peel. There is nothing magical or romantic about it. As someone who has seen a lot of first episodes of stereotypical anime, I can only say, that scene was delicious, thank you. Then she proceeds to talk about the crap that stole away with the sentence, "It's alright if you don't understand." Little did she know that Araragi actually knows more than her, which again is refreshing to hear from a main character in this day and age. The only other thing that is worth discussing in this scene is the sound her cutter knife makes because it's so fucking satisfying. Oh yes, cutting knife ASMR from Senjugahara, baby. Oh, and also the way he runs back to his school bag. Yeah, I like that stuff. After Araragi confronted Senjugahara and tells her that he could help with her problems, they have a neat little conversation on the bike that takes the tension from the last scene out. I like this dialogue, man, it's nice little humor. Just talking in a normal manner with each other and generating laughter for the viewer only through characters and dialogue. Good shit. They hop off the bike and Senjugahara threatens Araragi that 5,000 men will kill his family should something happen to her, since she realizes that this place looks quite dangerous and abandoned. Wait, an anime character tells us information about his upbringing and traits inside an important scene because she can use it to threaten Araragi and it doesn't feel forced? Not like standard anime in which the writers just want to show us how quirky their characters are? Incredible, isn't it? I like this a lot because characters feel real when they just do the thing that they think is right, not by throwing the list of character traits around like some overactive idiot. Shortly after the 5th amazing scene in this anime, the episode starts to get more weirder than it already was. And honestly, the only thing that I can make out of the scene where they walk to Oshino are the scattered words on the screen that represent the thoughts of Araragi again. Although it's now the second time that a meta joke is made, so I'm not sure if this has importance on the story, or if it's just there because the writers thought it was funny. I think they just wanted to make a joke. In a conversation with Oshino, they make a third meta joke and a fucking good joke after that. The rest of the conversation is only lore related stuff that is fairly put together and not really something to exaggerate on. I think I made my points clear why I love this episode so much. The fact that this is a first episode baffles me, and I'm stoked to watch more of the Monogatari series. If nothing spikes my interest until I am done with Nisei Monogatari, then I will make the Tomboy review on Karen Araragi next. So if you like Tomboys or Monogatari, then subscribe to my channel or follow me on Twitter. You can support my music on Bandcamp and my whole channel through Patreon. I drop at least one video like this every week and mostly on Saturdays, so until next week, bye.